Hello everyone, and today we'll be taking a look at a game franchise that inspired my current and all-time favorite franchise, that being Destiny, and the creators of Destiny, that being Bungie. And today I'm going to be talking about Halo, specifically Halo Combat Evolved. To give a quick background on my experience with Halo, well, to be honest, I barely have any. I've always set a goal of playing every Halo campaign, but I never got to do that. I would always start on Halo Combat Evolved, and I would always get through a few missions, but then I would never get back on. It's not the fact that I didn't enjoy the game at all. Matter of fact, it was quite great. It's just there's always been something thrown around about Halo, or something with Destiny would come out, or anything else would happen, and I would totally forget about it, unfortunately. Moving on to the main reason why I'm making this video, I've heard that 343 is making Combat Evolved for the fourth or so time, and I of course would prefer if it happened with Bungie, though they don't own the IP, which is unfortunate, and I would of course like for them to buy it out. However, I doubt that would happen. Nonetheless, I've heard that this remake is going to be different from the rest, where they're going to be adding all old, scrapped content from what Bungie couldn't have implemented to the game at the time, which in my opinion is a very great thing. To me, I've always seen Halo as a campaign-focused game with multiplayer tacked onto it, not trying to be rude. Getting back to the main topic, if 343 is hoping to get some of their veteran players back and new players such as myself, here are some things I would like to see out of it. Firstly, it should stay faithful to the original Halo Combat Evolved story beats and storyline. I should be able to experience the same story from the first ever CE, but of course slightly changed and expanded to fit with the scrapped content. It should not be an alternative story at all. Then the main thing, which is scrapped content. Any enemy or animal, level, weapon, vehicles, and much more should be added into this new Halo Combat Evolved game. They should really encompass what the true Halo Combat Evolved game should have been from the start. I hate getting sidetracked, but Halo has always confused me with what's canon and what's not. On the Halopedia wiki, it says that books, graphic novels, and much more are canon, and some take place during the Halo games. So if we're speaking about Halo Combat Evolved, in my opinion, I think that any book or graphic novel that had events that took place during the Halo Combat Evolved games, whether it was before, during, or after, the lore and story from those books and novels should be added to the game. Although, like I said, it shouldn't be an alternative way of expressing the story. It should remain true to the core, except just expanded on what Halo Combat Evolved was. Just make it more. Keep the core ideas, levels, voice lines, everything. Just keep everything from the original Combat Evolved, but just make it, more add-ons of the lore that was later introduced in the books and other sorts of media. As for how would we access this new lore? Well, there could be some kind of in-game lore as mission, data files, or maybe even a virtual book entry similar to how Destiny currently does it. Or you could have Master Chief be able to access data entry. Or when a player picks up a lore book within a level, and once they're finished within the level, players can easily exit out, and in the main menu you can have dedicated lore section tab. Then players could read within the game. It could be a specific mission. They can all be missions and just express what it was to be Master Chief in that situation. Because let's be honest, in this day and age, no one is really going to be reading these physical books. I understand that they're very great, but not many are going to go out of their way to get them. And sure, many want to know the lore about Halo. However, it's best to keep the lore within the games, since it's simpler for the average players to understand what's going on in the Halo universe, and lore experts will have an easier time finding and understanding about Halo. Another thing that I quickly want to note about is that there's an arcade game called Halo Fireteam Raven, which is another media that I'd like to see be implemented into the new Halo Combat Evolved game, because it takes place at the same time as Combat Evolved. However, it shouldn't be, part of the mainline mission with Master Chief. It should be something similar to Halo 3 ODST, where it takes place at the same time as Halo 3, but different set of characters, or just have a sub-campaign within the Halo Combat Evolved remake, where players could experience the arcade game, but in the real first-person Halo action that we've all come to know about. So as you just heard, I would rather have the books and any other sort of media be implemented into the games, because that's what's going to get the most amount of traction. It's been the games from the start. I could of course be speaking only for a few people. Maybe in reality there's a lot more people reading the books because they enjoy finding the lore there, and I'm not saying the book should be removed, not at all. However, my thought is that if they were to add the correct book lore into the rightful games and only add the things that we didn't know about and further expand on the Halo lore, it would be a greatly appreciated idea. I know there are some discrepancies with the games and books, which is why they should be sorted out properly. This then could allow for longer and better thought out campaigns, and once again, fully encompass the full Halo story within just the games. There's nothing external that you have to do. It's all within the game. That's how I see it. It was like that from the start, where the games were first and the books were just add-ons. Overall, I'm writing about this just to give insight on how I'd like to see the lore and gameplay be implemented in this new Halo Combat Evolved game, and any future Halo games that get their rightful remakes with the same ideas of adding any scrapped content and adding useful lore from other media into the correct games. If the new Combat Evolved is as good as it seems, I would of course check it out and buy it. But there's also a very interesting idea to see how all the scrap content works. I love when games include all the planned content, so this makes the game very interesting, at least for me. Imagine being able to explore more levels than ever, or being able to encounter more enemies than ever, having more ways of transport, or even seeing new guns be added while staying true and faithful to the original Combat Evolved. That's the main thing I love about Destiny. It keeps everything in the game. Not really anymore because they've removed important things, but that's besides the point. In Destiny, you don't have to visit any external site or place or thing to learn more about Destiny's lore. It's all held within the game. Everything that you need to know is there. And that's how I feel like it should be with this Halo. If they want to stay true and do similar things to what Bungie did back then they should just do what I proposed. It gets confusing in the long run with having books and other media. Containing the lore and story in one separate place is far better in my opinion. Again, take this information lightly, as I don't have a large understanding of Halo, and I could just be saying things that many would be opposed to. Also, a quick thing to note, as the time of writing the script, it's been a couple of days in the making. I wasn't too particularly interested in Halo until now, but while trying to find things to understand about Halo as a whole, I found a YouTuber that I'm subscribed to that basically said what I would like to see be added into the game. His name is Hidden Zephyria. Sorry if I butchered that. But to know, I didn't watch his video before making the script to take it as inspiration. No, as a matter of fact, it was after finishing the script and specifically writing this line or this part that I had watched his video, and he describes everything perfectly, but of course to a larger audience. I'll link the specific video that I'm talking about. It pretty much goes into much greater detail and better informed opinion of what I was going to be talking about and what I like to see be added. But yeah, that's about it. Have a good one.